Okay.
Okay, we're live, you guys. Okay, everybody, welcome. Welcome to the Wolf's Den. Lady Wolverton, Jen. Everybody knows me as Jen. Please, everybody call me Jen. We just wanted to get together tonight. Johnny Be Crazy is on vacation, so we can't have him with us. He's usually always with us for our Westworld for beginners, but we have Vengeance with us. She's very good, as good as I think you can be at Westworld, because it's quite the mind F, if you know what I mean. But more importantly than that, so I'm Lady Wolverton. You can find me Thursday nights, book club. We go chapter through chapter, the book. We're still on Game of Thrones. I believe this week it is it Eddard 9, LMR?
I think Eddard. Yes, Eddard 9. Yep.
Eddard 9, you guys. So please stop on in at 8 o'clock Central and talk. Let's talk some Eddard, or just pop in and say, hey, whatever you can do. I know people are busy. I know life is busy. But tonight, something very special is going on. And with that, I'll be right back. Running.
Where you going? This is how Jen tricks you into stuff. Hi guys. Welcome to Westworld night.
And she disappears, right? Oh my gosh, Jen, are you serious? You're funny.
I completely forgot. Okay. So we have these. You are very welcome. So we're gonna have these birthday balloons in honor of you and everybody. It's Elamar's birthday, so happy birthday to her. And with that, I'm gonna pass the mic over to our birthday girl, Elamar.
Oh my gosh, what do I say? Hello. Well, thank you so much, Jen. Thank you for. I see. This is something I did not get for my birthday. Nobody got me balloons, so you did give me balloons. So thank you, thank you, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here, and thanks to all the gangbangers at Cammy's Hangouts for all the lovely wishes. I was blown away. So again, thank you. It's going to be fun. We're going to be discussing Westworld like everybody else's, because we all want to know what's going on. And hopefully when we combine our brain powers, we're going to find out, right? Somebody's going to get it at some point.
Somebody's going to get, you're right, at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, and y'all, we've got Vengeance with us tonight. She is very good at the Westworld talk. Oh, so I literally begged her, you guys. She's not feeling great, so let's show her a lot of love, because I did some begging.
Well, just happy birthday to Elamar. Let's do that. How about that? Congratulations on beating most of Game of Thrones cast. First of all, my birthdays. That's a big accomplishment right there. So, there.
Wait, we can't hear you.
Really? You can't hear me now?
I muted myself. I'm gonna mute myself because I'm sorry, I couldn't hear anything. It was breaking up really bad. I'm gonna mute myself.
Same here. So we're gonna mute when you talk. That tends to help.
Well, I got up and adjusted stuff. Was that better? Okay. See, I got up and I turned off my fan for you, Jen. That's what I did. So, no, I was just saying, congratulations, Omar. You've already beat most of the cast of Game of Thrones on your birthday. So, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. And, so what do you guys think about the Sphinx? First of all, the regular Sphinx.
Yep.
First impressions?
Again, it was breaking up a little bit. I heard something about Sphinx. What do we think about the Sphinx? Did you say that right now, or did I just imagine?
That was the name of the episode.
Yep.
The Riddle of the Sphinx was the name of the episode. What was any first impressions?
Well, my first impression was flashback from childhood when we were given riddles. The only riddle I remember, it was in a comic book somewhere. It was about this, I think, what was it? A riddle about what kind of something, basically the answer was a human or a person or something like that. So I know that's the only thing I remember from it. And then from one of the movies, there were two sphinxes, I guess, on the sides, and bad things happen to those who don't pass the gate, basically.
Yeah, are you talking about like the Egyptian afterlife where they weigh with the rings to the
actually, I think I was talking about the never-ending story. I know these were not sphinxes, or there was something like that, but a lot of reverb.
Yeah, no, that I don't know what it is about that movie when I was a kid, and I loved it when I was a kid, but then it started to freak me out, and then I just quit watching it. I don't know why, and I just never will go back and watch it, even to this day. And yeah, but Jen, what was your first impressions? Just out of curiosity, what hit you first about when you seen it?
First of all, about the episode, well, the most thing, honestly, and when I call this chat Westworld for Beginners, I am 100% number one beginner. I didn't get anything y'all were just talking about. What stuck with me was so that's William's father-in-law, who's been living at the park for 7 years, basically, or
the old dude over there, the old guy, kind of.
Yeah, are they doing something to his body to make him live longer?
He was sick. Well, he was sick. We know that he was sick, and he has everything that he could ever want, right? Besides his health. So as I was saying, oh, you can hear me?
Everything's all choppy.
Okay. If you
let me mute.
So
I can hear you well.
Okay. So as I was saying before, kind of like in the beginning of this, or even end of the previous season, is that people who have money, they have everything, right? Like there's nothing else they could ever want unless they're sick. And unless, well, if they're not sick, they still can live forever, right? So my idea was that this whole thing is basically, the way of making them happy for eternity, maybe. And apparently this is happening for Delos, for the old guy. Yeah, that's so to answer your question, Jen, yes, that's the old guy. That's the father or father-in-law.
I'm
hey,
sorry
BBM.
to you, LMR, but I told the ladies, BBM, I said, you guys know what? We could use a little help. I said, I'm going to invite BBM and just see what happens.
And there he is. Hi, BBM.
Couldn't be more pleased. Okay, BBM, could you give us your impressions of the episode?
But wasn't like Lauren just like talking, so like she can finish what she had to say, and I'll chime in.
Oh, I'm good. I think I'm done with that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, all good. That was the point I was making, answering your question, Jen. So go ahead, BBM.
Okay, so for starters, thank you for having me, Jen. I just looked at my Hangouts and I was like, wait a minute, got an invite. As I quickly asked you about the live chat because we already went on, but again, thank you for having me. Happy birthday.
Thanks. Thank you.
Be here. Now, this episode was fantastic. 10 out of 10. Best episode by far of this series, in my opinion. Like, this was like crazy. Like, they answered so many questions, left us still in questions. Like, they really didn't like drag on the like what happened with Stubbs with the Ghost Nation. They didn't drag on about the men and daughter reveal. Like, this episode was so great. I'm shocking that this was episode 4. Like, I would expect like near like he's the finale, or at least like episode 9, like how Game of Thrones does it. But they really just hit us on episode 4. And for those of us who questioned, like, is season 2 going to be as great as season 1? Oh, it did. It truly did.
Yeah.
That's what I have been saying. Okay, number one, I watched Westworld last year. I enjoy Westerns because most people know I used to ride back before I was so, brittle and stuff that my doctor is basically like, if you dislocate your shoulder again, I cannot put it back together, but I still have horses and whatnot. So I just love a good Western, period, even though I know that this is not technically a Western. you know, in my opinion. I mean, it has Western aspects to it, but there's so much more going on. I'd almost more call Westworld a sci-fi.
It's nice mix, right? It's nice mix of having Western, so you get that kind of non-technology age or whatever you call it, and then you get this modern, complete opposite of it. So it's like two worlds combined, and best and worst of them.
And they like to confuse you where you're at. So like with the player 1 minute, and then you're out in the desert the next minute. So it's like with Bernard, where he's like what time am I at? Am I here now?
Is it here? Yeah. Is it now?
Like, okay.
We did it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ruth.
The first thing I thought about, and I agree, this was my absolute favorite episode so far in the series, because it didn't leave the question of it, was it William's daughter Dana? And it brought Elsie back, like just really quick. And I was glad that I just really like Elsie in general. So I was glad that it brought her back. I'm glad that we jumped right in. But the first thing I thought of was, and because I do this, I'm sorry, I'm a Florida native. Walt Disney, if you've ever been to Epcot, if you've ever went in that giant friggin' golf ball looking ride, I forget what the ride's called. You know what I'm talking about. Every time that thing burnt down, the cradle burnt down, it was like you're going through that ride. And it was like it was taking you through the future. And I remember like going to the ride when I was a kid. It was like do you remember the Jetsons? Does anyone remember the Jetsons?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like it's like they brought the 60s and 70s back, but in the future. But it was like 2000 and 2010, and this is how the future was supposed to be, or whatever. But it was like they just rehashed it all, and that's exactly what I thought of. And as soon as it opened, opening scene, and the record player and everything, it was like, am I looking at my grandmother's furniture or something? I mean, what is this here? And then they burned it down. And then I felt like I was going in that globe too with the circular motions. It's like, dude, is this Walt Disney? Are they trying to tell us that they got Walt Disney somewhere? And then I started thinking of Walt Disney with his cryogenics project stuff. And that's a real thing. If you look into it, he really was like crazy into that. And he wanted to have all that crap done. I mean, but it just, my head, okay, I'm just going to let y'all talk from it because my head just ends out of control.
That's okay. No, this is somebody again somewhere. I listened to a couple of streams, and they are completely right that this thing is basically. Sorry, I don't know if you can hear my dog, but he's always here interrupting. Anyway, so he's just snoring. Don't worry about it. Nothing's happening there. So yeah, for Disney, right? Like everybody over there is in character. They're not able to break that. They have to be in costume, in character at all times over there.
No, I go there a lot, and I know a lot of people that have worked there over the years, and that is no joke. They seriously, you do character for nothing. I'll tell you what, my favorite people that I've ever seen there, and like seriously, like just they were awesome. It was Cinderella's stepsisters when I was at Castle. They were just the funniest, coolest people there. So whoever played them, y'all were great. I just want to say that.
What are your thoughts? What is your thought, Jen and BBM? Does it remind you of something that can happen? Like, are they secretly working on this stuff somewhere for real?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, I'm the kind of person that believes there are things going on in the world that the government doesn't tell us because they think it's better that we don't know or whatever. Definitely, I know that my brother always says that Google Mini is the government listening to me, and it to stuff as simple as what my favorite pizza is to what kind of things I look up. Does that answer make sense? I'm trying to follow here.
Yeah, that's a whole another thing right there.
What about you, BBM? What are your thoughts about it?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. Like since like the beginning of time, man has been trying to like cheat death, and this is just an example of many ways that they've been trying to do it. And we're seeing it in this episode that they're trying to upload, people's mind into hosts, and it looks like it's possible to upload your mind into a host body, but is it going to be successful in the long run? Maybe not. in the case of Papa Del's, like in what 35 days or so, maybe within a year or two, it may be successful. But as of now, we don't see any good results.
That was kind of weird for me. I'm thinking, my thought was, I don't know if any of you know Altered Carbon, and I keep mentioning in comments when I'm chatting with people. So for that one, if, let's say for whoever, let's say you haven't seen it. So it's basically rich people in the future, they can get, they don't call them hosts, they call them slaves. Like you can get a new slave, but it's not you. Let's say you hate, I don't know, you're whatever about yourself. Maybe you want to be a guy, I don't know, and you're a girl. You can change. You can get a new body. They will make you a new body and just kind of upload what you got here into the new one. Obviously, it costs a lot of money. So you can people live forever. There's no, they can live forever basically as long as they want to live. There's no way they can die if they have money. So it's similar to this. Also,
that movie. Sorry to interrupt, but also that movie. You know, who's seen that movie with Justin Timberlake?
Yes,
and where and it's Amanda Seyfried, Justin Timberlake, and Olivia Wilde, maybe.
Yeah, it was like a quicker movies. Like there were. I mean, I don't want to like. Comparing that movie to Carbon, with Altered Carbon, obviously Altered Carbon was much better. There were no loophole. Well, you know, there were no holes in plots. Or I'm very picky when it comes to that. It annoys me when I see like this doesn't make sense at all. Like even if I stretch it, like. But anyway, so that movie, yeah, if you watch it, it makes sense because you basically are paying for time. You're born, right, Jen? You're born with time up to 25 years or whatever it is, and then you have to earn your time to live.
Yeah, and it's something like that. But really quick, before we go on, I just want to give a shout out to everybody who's in the chat and who has popped in here to say hey to Elamar on her birthday. And I want to thank BBM so much for joining us, because like I said, when I say the title is Westworld for Beginners, I number one mean me. So it's always good to have somebody on here who you know, who just knows the show a little bit more than I do. I just love the show. I enjoy the show. But I want to say hey to Connie Super, OTDM, the real David Adams, AU, hello, Bubba Husky, hey, Eduardo Blanco, Marie Hill, and Nancy T. Thank you, Nancy. And could you please put in the chat what size flip-flop you wear?
I'll be your feet.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I see where you put it. Okay, just I might be making up a few little happy treats for Con of Thrones. Okay. Did I say hey to everybody? Ian Trone, hello. It's always good to see you. Everybody. Also, you guys, we did not do our Westworld for Beginners show last week. And what I was wanting to tell you guys is that I really enjoyed last week, where they went back and it was like a safari or whatever it was. And like I said, since I'm no expert on the show, I came up with one of two possible reasons. Okay, so not only did we get that like flashback to the safari or whatever, I think it was a flashback because everything seemed really authentic, like according to that time period that would be like 1920s, I was thinking, or something such as that. And what I mean is like the accoutrements, you know, the little tables, all the little things. It seemed like really true to time. That is the only thing that made me think that. So I'm thinking one of two things, like literal time flashback to a place where somebody has tried this before, kind of like Jurassic Park, how in all the Jurassic Park movies you see that, well, they tried this over here on this island and then it didn't work out. You know, why they keep trying it, who knows? But those are good. Those are entertaining movies. Either that it was a time flashback. Let me get this out, Ree, and then I'll let you go. Either that it was a time flashback, A, or B, it's like what you're saying. There's Walt Disney World, then there's Epcot, Then there's MGM. It was a complete different area of the park. And the reason I say that is because we saw the dead tiger that looks like it had drowned on the shore. And I know we're bouncing around all over the place, and I'm sorry about that. BBM will have to steer us properly. Reed, what were you saying?
No, that's kind of where I was going. You just led us right there.
Oh, okay, perfect.
The Jurassic Park, though, no, because I thought about Jurassic Park, but I will comment though a little bit, I do think that's how it is set up though with the parks, and it is the same Jurassic Park idea, and it's not quite the same author. So I mean, that's kind of to be expected a little. But as far as the back in time thing, it's more mimicked after a period in time, which was more when Britain and all, ruled over India, and they mimicked after all the kings. Frog world, basically. It's
colonization. No, I've got what you're saying.
So that's what that thing world is supposed to be about. So I thought it was kind of cool. I thought she kind of had like a Grace Kelly sort of elegance to her. That's where I thought she got the name Grace from. So, and plus, it was kind of popular at the same time as Emily, when everybody was naming their babies. I don't know.
And I heard a few people talking about who was the lady. I heard some people making some comparisons. Who was the lady on The Hunt?
Which lady? The young lady?
Yeah, the young lady on the safari who basically picked up the guy, and he really got killed, which they didn't. Yeah. They acted like they were very shocked and surprised by that. So that's why I'm saying, it looked like one of these instances where the hosts have gone crazy.
It's actually what's his name? William's daughter, it turns out at the end. So spoilers to those who haven't watched the last episode. Sorry, I'm not sorry.
Spoilers.
Okay, so and her name Grace? Is that correct, or?
Grace and Emily, right? Emily Grace or something like that.
They introduced her as Grace on that episode, but her name, that's not her name. Her name is Emily. That's what he.
Okay, because specifically they talked about her on this next episode when William is sitting with his father-in-law, and I had to ask you guys this. That is William's father-in-law, the one that has been.
Yeah. Papadella's the one we be seeing, like in the room.
What is and that's what I asked. Yeah, I only got to watch the episode twice, and I'm in the middle of doing a season 1 rewatch, because even if I, am not very good at this show, I can at least, I was going to say know a timeline, but maybe that's not going to be very easy, but at least get the characters down. You know what I mean?
Father.
Yeah. Say that again. Yeah.
Logan's father, not William. It's Logan's father.
Right. The one that he got pissed off at in season 1.
So there was an episode when we see young William, go to the park and show this park to, I forgot the guy's name, Jimmy, or the Delos, the old guy, the owner.
Yeah, James.
So the young William goes there to show him the park and sell it to him, like for him to invest in it. And later on, we see, I don't even know if you call it flashback, flash forward, whatever. You can see like a glimpse in time where
James Delos, OTDA, is saying
he's older.
Delos. Thank you, chat. Get involved, chat. Get involved.
Yep. Exactly. So later we see him being older when William has a daughter. We can see William's wife, and then James is coughing. So we kind of see people don't just cough. Everything is for a reason over there. So he coughs and whatnot, and we see that he's sick. And that's
Milt
when we
wants
see him.
To know if BBM is in the hospital. I think he's just picking because you're not in your normal surrounding behind. You know how you kind of have your little set with your Funkos in the background and stuff. I think he's just picking on you. Hey, Milt, want to give Milt a shout out. You guys, BBM and Milt do Citadel of Trivia on Friday nights. What time do y'all run? BBM. Anyway, it's a great, fun thing to do.
Yeah, Citadel Trivia Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I believe this week we're doing Game of Thrones trivia, love them or hate them, I think. So that's like a little sneak peek for this coming Friday.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing
Let's
that.
not forget, whoever is not signed up to BBM's channel, he has awesome reviews. There are shows I don't even watch, but I'll still go and watch his stuff.
I'm not even.
LMR,
I don't
he
even
got
know
me to
what that
watch
is.
Arrow just from watching his reactions.
Yeah.
He got me to watch an Arrow, which, by the way, BBM said the other night that he has now become somebody who's eating at Wendy's a lot, and he had never tried a Frosty. And I told
I
him,
remember.
I saw, it just so happens that very night I saw where Frosties are 50 cents all month. And he's supposed to try one and possibly make a little video about it for us. I
saw that video.
Oh, you made it? I haven't got to see it. I haven't seen it. I can't wait. But yeah, that's what we are talking about. BBM's reaction videos.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot even watch the damn show.
Yeah, you don't have
really
to.
like
Two shows. I won't watch them until I'm caught up. It drives me crazy.
I mean, I live for BBM's watch
I'm
videos.
gonna include couple. I'm gonna be quiet for a moment and look for a couple links and drop them here, just in case if any of you people in the chat don't know about his channel. I'm gonna drop it here just a sec.
Yeah,
so keep talking, keep chatting, and I'll look for links.
Can you drop the link to BBM's channel and also drop the link to Citadel of Trivia?
I'll look for that. Yep.
Yeah, great. Okay, thank you.
And
awesome.
no, I did not pay them to advertise my channel and my videos.
Of course he did. No,
he's trying to do that for everybody. Oh my gosh, look who is in the chat. James from Dust on the Throne is in the chat. He says, hello guys, getting ready to record the Side Effect podcast, but I wanted to swing by and say hello, and I wanted to wish my friend LMR a very happy birthday, and I hope to catch up with you guys soon. Awesome. We hope the same thing here, James. We love it when you come on. It's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna start working on those things in your chat. There's gonna be several people popping in the chat to wish you a happy birthday. Ree accidentally dropped off. Ree, just come on back in. You know, when you can, and if you can, you guys, I begged her. She wasn't feeling well, so she'll pop back in if she can, and if she doesn't, know that's why. So much love for you, James. You're so nice. Oh, she's back. You're so wonderful. You're so awesome. By the way, what size flip flop do you wear?
I'm glad that didn't happen.
Is this getting kind of weird right now? No, it's not. Jen just needs. Jen, there's a reason why Jen needs it. Don't freak out, people. We're not going to be asking for sizes here. You're safe. You're all safe.
It's not going to be like one of these Law and Order episodes where you find that I've been cutting off people's feet and keeping them, you know, around the house or anything like that. Okay, I promise.
Yeah, that's what she says, right?
Yeah, this is Mr. Wickies. He wanted to say hi.
Aww.
He's a sweet boy. All right. You guys, I couldn't do without my dogs. I'm a big time animal lover.
All right. Have you guys, I have to ask because this was like one of my favorite parts of the entire episode. What did you guys think? Because that just popped in my head. When James, we were just talking about James, where William and they went to the town and with the little girl, and where it was finally crap, what was it, nitro or something in the bottles, and he drank it.
Yep.
Yes.
and he poured it down the guy's throat and all that, and just wasn't that just awesome? I just want to say that was just really awesome. What did you guys think?
Bree, let me stop you right there for just a minute, because we've got Tony Teflon in the chat. And I just wanted to say, Tony Teflon says, watching the game, so I'll have to watch this later. But I wanted to stop in and say to LMR, happy birthday. May you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Peace and stay sexy. Thank you, Tony Teflon.
Thank you.
Tony Teflon is a friend to me and just a really nice person. As I'm saying, you guys, if you get to know some of the people in this community, it'll make your heart so full. It'll make your heart so full. It really will. So much love to be had. All right. Go ahead, Ree. I'm so sorry. Nitro down people's throats.
That's not my kind of poison, but I guess yeah. I was wondering how it tasted. Was anybody wondering about that? Because when he was actually pouring it in at some point, it was making like this what do you call it, hissing sound? Not a hissing, like a burning sound when it dropped. And then I don't know, I have to Google it, although I don't know if I want to Google stuff like that these days.
The first time it ever rained?
I'm sorry?
That's the first time it ever seen it rain. That's the first time it ever rained.
Yeah, I've never seen weather like that over there.
Interesting. I never caught on to that though, but that whole scene itself was interesting, you know.
AU Pack Meal says like acid.
Yeah, and he just poured it down his throat. I mean, I would think that the guy would be like yelling and screaming for his life as, you know, things were boiling down there, but he just kind of swallowed it and went on like, you know, okay, I'm just gonna move slowly now. It didn't end well for him either, even though he was. Ari, you were saying something?
I was asking BBM what he was seeing.
BBM?
Oh yeah, because like the whole scene itself was just crazy, from the point where he was talking about, oh, you think you know Def, you're like sitting next to him, and then he just started like kicking ass and pretty much taking names throughout that moment. He just basically cleared out the whole Confederate army that was left.
Right? Yeah. I was like, the most moment for William, like to date. Like, yeah, I love him even more now.
For who do you love more? I didn't hear that part, Ree.
William, like he completely, the Confederados there, goodbye. You can completely just mark them off. They're out of the game. That was the last of them right there. He just back. He's just
okay. And so I have a question about that. Ree, BBM, LMR. The Confederados, is this what was left of the band of Teddy that Teddy was with that went bad? Is that what we got here?
One of his lives, right? He killed most of them, and then there's some of them were left. But yeah, I guess their narrative stays the same. Although I am still not sure, and help me out, guys. I'm still not sure if that part was actually real, that Teddy lived through that, or was he just given that memory as part of the kind of a tweak to his existing narrative? What do you think, Ree and BBM?
The one, those are the ones that Teddy let go whenever she killed the rest of them.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. If you can repeat it, please.
You're asking, Jen? Were we seeing, and he said,
I am asking, is that a continuation of the one narrative? And as a matter of fact, since I'm doing a rewatch, the guy played by Anthony Hopkins. That's Ford.
This is a current timeline. This is the current timeline. Think about it like that. That's current timeline.
Okay, well, what I was doing, I'm rewatching, right? So the old episode I actually watched today was the one where he actually added that narrative to Teddy. Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember what I'm talking about?
That's why I was asking about that. Yeah.
But let me ask this: is Wyatt not that girl?
Dolores.
Wyatt is Dolores.
Wyatt is Dolores.
Okay, because you know what though, I didn't think Wyatt was AKA Dolores. I thought it was actually the other girl who was actually kind of the hostess, who is now like the
Angela.
badass.
Oh,
Yeah.
Angela?
That's what you thought, yeah.
Yeah, that's who I thought. So you guys cleared that up for me. I need to make a freaking key.
There are a lot of things you have to let's say when you're, I don't know, if you're commuting and just listening to it as a podcast, obviously don't drive and watch anything, but like you have to not just listen to it, you have to be really careful with watching what people do, how people do it, and also the screens that they have, the technology, especially they have those tablets over there. And that's when we see when either Dolores or somebody looks at the little tablet and then it says Wyatt on it. So it was written and then later on it was confirmed by saying by somebody like that, whatever woman named Wyatt, or however they phrased it.
Okay, and we've got a
recommend
comment
watching
from
with subs. If you're doing a rewatch, then do it with subtitles on, and pay attention to what the title of the episode is, because there's usually some kind of theme to it.
Okay.
And
Thank you for the advice. I certainly will do that. And anybody
Yeah,
else
for
who
every
has
episode, you gotta like watch it in subtitles. Maybe the first watch you don't, but the second time watch it with subtitles.
Well, I've already watched it once, all of them at least once, and most of them twice. But so you know what? I am going to start fresh and do a rewatch with subtitles. And because I do the same thing from Game of Thrones. Yes, definitely. There's always something in the name of the episode of an episode, usually.
There's something for those who are watching it with subtitles, and this is also a question for the chat. I am watching with God, I can't talk, long day, with subtitles, but there were a couple things that subtitles did not show, especially something when Dolores is in that new building that's being built. There's one sentence that was missing and I couldn't tell what it said. Have you noticed anything like that where you're watching it and you kind of notice that a line is missing? And I'm wondering if it's...
Sometimes it'll tell you, sometimes it'll say dots, sometimes it'll say mumbles, sometimes it'll actually tell you. Like the one I went back on immediately, this is when I went back and first started really like getting into subtitles, honestly, was just when Little Ford and Big Ford's voices merged. And I never really cared, honestly, till I went back and I was like, wait a minute, what did he say? Because I couldn't understand him. And then I was like, oh my God. And then I went back and I just rewatched everything with the subtitles on. And I understood a lot of it better. And it's like, I don't know. I think I'm losing my hearing too. I'm getting older.
Okay, so to everybody get that. Go ahead, Living. Go ahead, Eleanor.
Yeah, I was saying that there were a couple scenes where I actually had to go back and watch a couple or listen to it a couple times, and because I'm thinking my idea is they're making it kind of unclear sometimes, maybe to kind of, or there was an instance where what's his name, Bernard or Arnold at that point was saying Charlie, but the way he said Charlie, it sounded like Charlotte, like Charlie, like not Charlie, but like Charlie. And I'm like, heck, did he say Charlie, or Charlotte? And it said Charlie in the subtitles, but I could swear it sounded like Charlotte. Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that theory of, that all this time that Charlie is actually an anagram for like Charlotte. Like,
okay.
I think she's like her own character, possibly helping out Emily within retrieving information out of Westworld.
Okay. I just want to go to the chat for a minute, but I just wanted to say, everybody, so if you're having trouble with Westworld, you heard it from people, several people here and in the chat. Maybe watch it with the subtitles on. There was several good comments in the chat that I just wanted to go to. OTDA, David Adams says, haha, I had to, Melos was talking about the devil and God. Laugh out loud. Bubba Husky gives a fact about nitroglycerin. He's saying that, people take nitroglycerin for heart problems. So maybe it's something to do with that. Like, what do you guys that's a possible theory? Maybe whatever they're taking has something to do with the fact that, you know, they're kind of in a made up world or whatever. Maybe it's, you know, just like when you're in at different places in the world, it's harder on your body or whatever.
What he meant, I think, is that medicine, or not, I'm saying medicine, that thing that the shot of that nitro, whatever it was called, that was given to that one guy by William. I was thinking, like, would he die from it? Like, isn't it like acid? And Baba Husky, I think, from what I understood, is he said that people take it for different heart issues. And now I'm kind of remembering, I know somebody who took it. Like, this is something that you take, it's really absorbed quickly. You take the pill under your tongue for it to dissolve really quickly. So I'm thinking in that it would not, you know, I guess it wouldn't hurt him. But first of all, I mean, he is a host. Like, can you poison a host? I don't know. So I guess
that's something right there too that they use also in cars for street races and stuff. Fast and Furious fans, pay attention. Yeah. You know that nitro right there. That's nitro. Come on, guys. If any Vin Diesel, I know you've seen it. Everybody's seen at least one of the movies.
So he should have gone crazy over there. He should have been like, you know.
And so, yeah. And yeah, exactly. That's the same crap that you put in your tongue. I mean, I'm sure it's altered in some chemical state, but yeah.
Milk K says a shot of liquefied nitroglycerin would definitely cure any heart ailment. And back to the chat. Bubba Husky says the whole Charlotte thing, her name might be a red herring, like from a pup named Scooby-Doo. I don't exactly get that reference, but okay.
It's basically when I don't know, those who watch Scooby-Doo, I used to watch Scooby-Doo, it's like people thought that there's, obviously there were, you know, kids solving mysteries, and whoever they thought was whoever it was, like, oh, they were sure it was whoever, you know, did the crime. It turned out that they were completely innocent and it was completely somebody else. So that's why the reference probably to Charlotte, saying that Charlotte is not Charlie.
And I think that's what it is. But in my very limited scope, that's what I think it is. I think it's going to come back up. I think there's something to it. I do. Okay. Back in the chat, I just wanted to get a few of these comments in that people were talking about. Milt said, Ford put Wyatt's programming into Dolores. Okay. But in the flashback, we saw Wyatt, and he was a guy. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like when he was doing Teddy, when Teddy pictured it in his mind's eye, he didn't picture Dolores. So explain that to me.
I think originally Wyatt was supposed to be a man, but I think it was Arnold who put that storyline into Dolores,
merged,
able to like kill him. And then later on, Ford does the same thing. He continues to like put the storyline of Wyatt so she can then like shoot him at that dinner party in the finale.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was mentioned that they were merged somewhere on the show, that they were merged, or somewhere. I heard that somewhere.
Hang on, because they're not. They're sort of merged. This is the confusing part. Wyatt's narrative was added to Dolores. That was like Ford's final narrative, okay? And he gave her the choice. So she became awake. When you're watching Westworld, you need to think about consciousness and intuition, because that's what the whole show is about, is consciousness. It's about awakening. It's the entire show. I mean, seriously, it's about the host finding consciousness. Your inner eye, the pineal gland. Look for the pine cones and pine cone and pineapple shaped stuff. Brain shaped stuff. I mean, just that sort of stuff like that. You'd be surprised. Maze shape. I mean, it opened up the player, you know. It's all connected. It all circles back. But it's I'm getting confused now.
Yeah, I agree. Like Dolores said, like it was episode 1 to that one guest that she has like, or is a conscious mind right now. It's like 2 people. It's like the storyline of Dolores the farm girl, and then the one of Wyatt, and then there's like this third one in which she's like developing right now.
Right. So is she getting like a borderline personality disorder? I mean, what kind of mental health shit's going on? Sorry, I swear. But, you know, what's going on, you know? Because she's not just Dolores. She's not just Wyatt anymore. She's awakened, but what is she now? Because she's not right in the head. We know that. I mean, hell, she's crazier than Cersei any day of the week now. Yeah.
You know, I still think that she's not completely herself. At least I think she's trying to find who she is, but there's still remnants. I think she's already done with being sweet and nice, although she's very sweet and nice to her father when she finally, the character she knew as her father. So there's still some sweetness in her, but let's say, okay, I don't think that this is her, meaning she. It's not her. I mean, if this is Dolores, the mean, angry Dolores, then that's scary, I think. Is she reacting to all the bad stuff that happened to her, or is it Ford or Arnold or whoever wrote a program for her being angry at whatever's happening and acting through her? I don't think we're going to find out. I don't think we're going to find out yet.
Chrissy of Oldstone says, and I think this is a good explanation in my limited scope. Chrissy of Oldstone says she's in between Dolores and Wyatt.
Exactly. Because like when her Wyatt Foreman was episode 3, where she was pretty much about to get ready to like take down whatever, like go to like the Valley of Beyond. But the moment where her father showed up, she was like, wait a minute, this is my father. And then when she realizes that he's pretty much breaking down and stuff, she's like, wait a minute, let me get like Bernard to help him out. Like she's pretty much, again, in between both storylines of Dolores and Wyatt and trying to figure out who she is at the same time.
And somebody, and I don't know who said it, maybe it was in one of the streams, somebody mentioned that I can't give anybody credit because I don't know who said it. It wasn't me. That she's going, she meaning Dolores is going through a rebellious stage, like a teenager right now, kind of rebelling. So if you know who said it, please let me know so I can give credit to whoever said it, where we heard it, that she is rebelling like teenagers. They go through the crazy stuff. You look at your kid and think, oh my gosh, did that just happen? And later on, hopefully they kind of settle down. They have their rage, hopefully to minimum later on, but it's like she's rebelling, she's finding who she is, and just a lot of negativity right now around her. But yeah, hopefully she'll snap out of it without killing too many people.
And Milk K says that the most important thing and the most important question is what is going on with Bernard's pants being dragged miles by zombie Clementine and not getting wrinkled.
That's Clement's
yeah. and then Mackenzie Burns says Dolores may have a split storyline arc this season, maybe next. And then OTDA One True David Adams said, yes, BBM, what you just said before is what he thinks is totally going on.
Yeah. So a lot of the stuff, I was surprised how Charlotte, when they were kind of running, her dress would not stay this clean and wrinkle free. I mean, she had like one tiny little spot on the bottom of her dress, and it was tiny. I mean, she was in a barn, for God's sake, seriously, in the barn where things happen and there's like nothing. No, right. But obviously, you know, she was flawless. She was gorgeous, flawless. And I don't know where she got those boots. If anybody knows, please let me know. But I watched it twice, and I didn't pay close enough attention to kind of see where the boots came from. But she did not wear those things to the party. Please let me know if you know where she got those boots from.
You know what? I put in the comments somewhere about that I would take off my shoes, about the heels thing. Yeah. I would have took off my heels and ran, and someone was like, no, that's stupid, you cut up your feet with glass and everything. I said, well, I'd rather cut up my feet with glass and on rocks and use them for them heels as weapons and haul ass, and run away.
Yeah.
You think I'm stupid? I'm not gonna break my neck on and shoes running. I take my chances. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think I represent the men that's in the live chat and those watching the future. I have like no idea about heels, so I really can't contribute.
Well, apparently Milk K said she stole them from a dead tourist, and AU said a dead soldier. So, OCGA says at Living My Rhapsody, she got them from an UGG gift shop in that secret room.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, no, she had those boots before. So something's going on over there, but yeah, she had
and I love a good pair of boots too. If I could show you guys a couple pair of boots that, oh gosh, Mr. Wolverton went crazy over me buying these 2 pairs of boots a few pairs of Christmases ago. But boots are expensive. Boots are expensive.
Yeah, when you got a good pair of boots, anything can happen.
They're very expensive. Even fashion, even like just a pair of boots. I'm sure, LMR, you look like a boot girl. There's nothing in winter like a good pair of boots to go with jeans and your sweaters. Oh, yeah. I mean, you should expect to spend at least $200 or $300 on a very decent pair of boots.
See, I prefer purses. I'm the purses kind of gal. Yeah.
Yeah, I get you. But you should expect to spend $200 or $300 on a very decent purse.
Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna add zeros to it. I'm not that crazy, but yeah.
Well, I tell you what's crazy is like a Birkin, like a purse that costs more than some people's homes.
Oh my gosh.
I was crap.
You were saying something?
I said I spend all my money on Game of Thrones crap. Oh, not crap. It's not crap. It's wonderful stuff.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else has got the Culture Fly boxes, but if you don't, I highly recommend you try to get them.
Wait, what is it called again, Bree?
Culture Fly. Culture Fly's doing subscription boxes for Game of Thrones.
I heard about that. Yeah.
$50. Yeah, I got in on them in December. They're quarterly boxes, and they only did, I think,
so once every 4 months.
Right, and they just did their second one, which was North and Beyond the Wall or something like that. Yeah, North and Beyond the Wall. It's really cool. Like, it had a Hodor door shirt, like really, like, and there's some really cool stuff. Like, if you're like really geeked out on Game of Thrones stuff, check it out. Really, seriously, highly recommend it.
I also want to really quickly say, we missed Johnny Be Crazy tonight. He's put out just a few Westworld videos that I find very intriguing and very good. He is, I believe, on a cruise vacation wedding, and we hope he's having a good time. But hey, I just want to say, you know what? We notice when you're not around. So,
and I'll post a link just in case if anybody.
Post a link to that.
During your vacation.
He's on vacation. He's having time, but he said that there is no internet or it's so expensive. He's not gonna, and no wonder.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't blame him. Like, he was saying that he might be able to do a stream. It was one day he texted me, have a good time. Have a good time. It's not every day you get to go on a cruise vacation for any reason, for your brother's wedding or otherwise. So we just wish him a happy and safe time. And BBM, tell us something. Tell us something that somebody, especially say somebody like me or just the casual watcher, what are we missing that we really need to be paying attention to? Like, what are we missing?
Like, even if you're a casual watcher or not, like, there were certain parts in this episode that even I didn't even truly understand or grasp the concept of it. Like, we do see, there's one thing even I didn't miss until someone brought it up with the record player for Papa Delos. Like, it was actually
nice song, right?
It was actually like the image of a maze that was on the record. I didn't notice until another watch.
Oh, okay. Was that who sings that song? The Animals? Was that "Don't You Play With Me, 'Cause You Play with Fire"?
Nice.
I love that song. Jen. Thank you. I love that song. I love that song. So yeah, I didn't notice that. Okay, but I did, you know, at the beginning, and that even got Mr. Wolverton's attention because he's a serious music lover. So I start watching the episode again this afternoon before the stream, and that even got him in here and got him interested. And that's a show he'll actually watch with me is Westworld. You guys, if you have trouble getting your husband to watch any kind of show with you, I find that that's a pretty easy show for me to get my guy friends and my husband to watch.
Talking about the music and the quotes, like within the music, it was pretty much like kind of like foreshadowing Papa Delos' story for this episode. Like, even though he was rich and owned all this stuff, like he was going to try to conquer death and he failed. Right.
That's that. Hey, that's a very good thing to bring up. And I find that to be true in almost every show, that the music has to do with what's going on.
And actually, the words too. If you listen to the words, it was saying everything about like your wife is this, somebody's that. So the word, I don't remember them exactly, but when I was listening to them, they all made sense. Like it talked about the theme of rich people and then the games I guess they're playing and bad things that can happen.
If you listen to what he says to William and all when their baseline conversation was and what they're talking about, and he's talking about, oh, look, you're going to play with fire and you get burned and all that stuff, you know? I mean, it's kind of all basically a reflection. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's got to be, I mean, he was literally living in a hell. I mean, he was getting burnt over and over 149 times. He went through the same thing over and over and then burned down to the ground, rebuilt his brain. He's living, functioning, going through all them crappy tests all the time that they were doing on him, and then burned down again. And he literally went through that. I mean, we've seen it 150 times. And I mean, there's got to be some synchronicity in the 149. I mean, just so y'all probably want to remember that too.
Ian Trone said that vinyl record sales would go up due to Westworld, so I pulled something to show y'all. Now, I'm going to belie my age a little bit here, but I saw this at like it's not a Goodwill, but something very similar to a Goodwill, like a secondhand shop, and I bought it just in case. But this is a toy I think a lot of us had as a child, and so it would have been like your first record player. Who remembers this? And it runs on battery, and it plays little songs like this one is London Bridge. And actually in the thing, it didn't come with all of the records, but I was very lucky to even get these. So I've got Camptown Races. That's basically Yankee Doodle, you guys. And The Farmer in the Dale. I've got 3, 4, and 5. I think it probably came with 5 records, but yeah, I'm not sure if it works yet because I haven't put a battery in it yet, but this was probably most people, especially if you're around my age, this was your first record player. And it really does. It plays, little childhood nursery rhymes and such. So very cool.
With actual record players, I don't know if you heard about that. Maybe it's common knowledge. I didn't know about it until I found out about it. I don't even know how long ago, that there's a reason why people listen to record play or like records, because the sound is more real than digital. I don't know if you heard about that, but like some people just prefer sound quality. Yeah, because you're actually listening to I know there's a word for it, I just don't know what it is. Whatever is opposed to digital, analog, no, whatever it is, I don't even know, but it's better. So
it's different. It's different.
Yeah, it has a full, I guess, spectrum of sound. I know,
and I think I hear a lot of people say you can actually hear the mistakes, because which makes it more realistic because it's not all this retouch and auto tune and things like that we have doubt. But in the chat, One True David Adams says, anything we don't understand will be made clear by the end of the series. So what I do is not to worry about it too much. That's what I do, but it is fun to just get together and talk about it and try to figure it out.
There's a comment from Melt here kind of confirming. Hopefully, I'm going to see if confirming when I read it. It says vinyl is an analog medium with continuous signal, not broken up as bits.
Okay, I think what he's saying is vinyl recording is continuous.
Yep.
What it is when you record a vinyl, when you're in the studio and you record a vinyl, they have to do it all in one take. So it's just they lay down the record, they go in there and they take one take. It's one recording, and then boom, there's your record. They cut it out.
It's not like where you can go in and record parts separately and then add them
together and layers, and then put it in there, and you can have like it's all chopped up, and it's anybody that's ever hung out with or got any friends that think they're musicians or DJs or anything like that, and has ever hung out in any studios or anything like that, you've seen it, and you've seen it butchered. And turn on a radio. That's all you gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
You know the difference in one station and the other. That's the difference between vinyl and you just can tell the difference. Digital. And I got a record player in the living room, and I got vinyls, and I got new vinyls. I've got Dre, I've got Eminem, I've got old stuff.
Wow.
And I still buy. I love them. I like the quality better.
And apparently, in the made-up world of West. Okay, what am I saying? Westworld? I don't want to say Westeros.
you almost did, but it's okay. We can all understand why.
So in the current show we're discussing, apparently vinyl is still popular because the richest guy I at least know of is listening to it. And yeah, he is,
Exactly.
It's good enough.
I have a bunch of vinyl records. I have a bunch of Billie Holiday on vinyl. Her voice is so haunting. I love her music.
There is something I wanted to ask you.
There's something I want to say real quick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Before you do that, it's very important.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to say happy birthday to you again.
Oh my gosh, Jen, you are the sweetest. Seriously, thank you. Oh my gosh, it's been a great birthday. I can't complain. The only thing I don't have right now is my hubby. So I miss him right now. He's on the road, but we had a great birthday Sunday, and Mother's Day. So it's all good. But I have you right now, and it's awesome. Thank you. It's
not your husband, but a good friend. How did the kids? Y'all, Elamar is one of those awesome moms. How did the kids feel when you rolled up and said, "We got Chili's for supper"?
Oh my gosh. Well, they surprised me again. Those kids, I don't know where they get it from, probably from me and my husband.
Well, probably.
Because I had long commute home again, like always. So I'm coming home tired. I'm thinking, I was chatting with Jen, just having fun. I had to stop for gas, and I'm telling her, and you saw me ordering food, right? I was at Chili's getting food.
I was on the phone with her talking about this chat when she was ordering Chili's.
So I'm like, I'm hungry. I'm stopping. I know I had Chili's Sunday for my birthday and cake. I'm stuffing my space with it today too, because I'm hungry and I want to not pass out here from hunger. So I come home. I'm thinking, I'm gonna sit down, eat, and the dogs greet me, the kids greet me, "Happy birthday, Mom!" And I'm like, "Wait, we just did the birthday." I'm like, "Oh, happy birthday!" And apparently my kiddo, I'm gonna age myself, but anyway, she drove with my other kiddo to the nearest store and got me present. Again, with her own money this time. So there was sweet.
That's beautiful, though. Isn't that beautiful? That's great. You're so lucky. You know, guys, I just want to say that I find in life, honestly, the best things are just the really little things, like a child buying you something with their own money, having cable, having air conditioning, having plenty of Coca-Cola in the refrigerator, because like Jamie Lannister famously said when they had all the Iron Banks money, the more you own, the more it weighs you down. And I find that to be extremely true. It's the simple pleasures in life that are really the ones that mean the most and that stick with you.
And good friends too. That's and we are all kind of separated by great distances. But if it were not for the technology and all, we would not be chatting right now. So I'm grateful for being able to be now, basically.
Me too. Me too. It's really awesome.
Yeah, we would not even see each other, or not see or hear each other, but we are able to chat. We're able to have fun, and it's nice. It's really nice. But I'm getting like all emotional. I wanted to ask you, did anybody else notice I'm saying catch 22? They said we are in sector 22 and there's nothing to do here.
Yeah.
Did anybody else thought about catch 22? When she said, and by she, I mean, what's her name? The cutie. Elsie, the cute little one. Yeah. Elsie said it to Bernard, saying, we're in sector 22. There's nothing, whatever, here. And I'm thinking, ooh, catch 22.
Damn thing that I wouldn't notice if you're sitting there that long. If I'm doing nothing but staring at a wall for that long, I would have noticed that crap.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. She wouldn't have noticed it for that long. I mean,
I'm telling you, hosts everywhere.
Right? Going out. I mean, there's nothing to do. I mean, you stare this way, you stare that way, close your eyes.
DBM, I haven't heard. I'm sorry. I thought you were done because there was some lag over here. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, no, I wasn't saying something, but since I finally got the mic now, like I was wondering like how big is like Westworld and all. Talking about this is like section 22, and there's like nothing out here. Mm-hmm. It's like, why is there nothing out here? Like, why wasn't there like stuff around that they could have been like putting up stories and such? It's like, what's really up here?
I don't know, you guys, but when I noticed people comparing Westworld to the Disney World thing or whatever, and I know, and Ree probably knows more about it because she lives in that area. Disney World owns so much more even than what they have, you know what I mean, for future projects, that I would imagine that we don't know the extent. You see what I'm saying? We don't know the extent of the Westworld holdings, basically.
What if the hosts over there are not able to see what they were programmed to not see? Maybe there's something there. Maybe, they're building something. And although I guess maybe not, because actual guests would see it too. I don't know. I was just thinking
the
about
guests would see it, but for hosts, like they probably wouldn't have seen it. Just like with Bernard, he wasn't able to, see that door or even like the house that he found in season 1 until he got near it, and until like Teresa like acknowledged it, and then he went through it. So that wouldn't make sense, like how hosts wouldn't see it.
Okay, but you're exactly right. That was the whole thing. I mean, that was the whole point of this episode with James Delos. That's what they were doing. They were trying to essentially make a host that was so real that they were defeating death. They were creating human life. They defeated mortality, basically. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to make a real life, basically, a real conscious being. Nothing. And that's what the James Delos experiment, more or less, call them, the cradle experiment was about. And that's what Dolores knows. That's her weapon. That's what the host and we're trained not to see. That's what all the DNA collected from the guests and their experiences was about. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's the secret project. Now, something really scary to think about is Disney is one of these big corporations. I mean, if you really look, there's like, I think it's 6 companies maybe that are actually in control of all these sub-companies in the entire world. And Disney is one of those main companies.
And the television. And the television, which I think is very, when you own all of this broadcasting, because they own, what do they own? They own like ABC, NBC. They own most of the bigger networks that most people have access to, because, we all have cable or a streaming service or whatever you have. But a lot of Americans, and perhaps people around the world, but definitely in America, they only have what is given. So therefore, Disney has a bit of a subhold on the human consciousness, because the news you get, the programming that you see, they have control over it, and that's a lot of power if you think about it.
Yeah, they're actually programming people now, if you think about it, in a way, by doing that, by controlling news, by controlling.
In a way, are you not being programmed when you? Okay, here's a question for everybody: are you not being programmed to think a certain way, or to look at a theme of something or something a certain way when you watch a television show?
You are. Definitely you are. You are kind of, again, I should know the word. You're being triggered by different things. You're being steered to one direction. Definitely. I just wanted to bring up a chat here. We have some kind of crossover going on here, which I kind of like here. We have, I see Eduardo Blanco saying, where are we? Let's see. We're talking about Jon Snow is a host. That's why he's back from the dead. And then we have him saying, somebody said it, Chrissy of Old Stones, Eduardo, Melisandre brought him back online. And then we have Eduardo saying she is hell of an engineer. Let's see, Melisandre could definitely be from the people in charge, or in charge of the park. That's Mackenzie Burns. Seriously, I love this. And yeah, the whole West.
And Chrissy of Old Stones, yeah. Ford is Roller.
Yeah, Roller.
And they own Star Wars. Yeah, Disney owns a lot.
Yeah. That's why many of the things, I think last year or 2 years ago, I was at, I forgot his name. I should know his name. His name is Fluffy. I don't know if anybody watches comedians. He's my favorite comedian.
Julio Iglesias.
Yes, I love him. I love him to death. We were at a concert. We were at his show here where I live a year or two ago, and he basically said about one of his Martine about Martine, that he wasn't invited to something because Disney did not want anything to do with Martine because of whatever stuff he did or said. So anyway, Disney can be very particular. They're right. I mean, they're the owners, right? They are very selective. So yeah, one comedian went through, but the other kind of said, we don't want any part of that. Yeah.
Right.
A question too for I haven't heard from BBM in a while. I'm gonna play hostess here. Sorry,
no,
Jen.
Please, you are.
BBM, what do you think about the fact that some hosts are able to be outside the park? Like we had well, not even Maeve. Her too. Obviously, she had her C6, I think it is, removed or replaced. But there was obviously Dolores, right in the beginning. I thought she was outside the park, and then
somewhere, and then
the other ones too. All of them were outside.
Through the brother-in-law. What's the brother-in-law's name, y'all? Logan. Okay.
Now, the thing with Dolores in that one scene where she was out of the park and she didn't explode or anything is because I'm guessing that was before they implanted that device in her neck or wherever they like programmed within like the body of the host, because they were just like showcasing. Okay, they were just showcasing it to like William and like Logan, but specifically Logan within that scene. And then with, of course, Maeve, she made sure that Felix and the other dude who I keep on forgetting, Sylvester, there we go, like got it out of her body. And with Bernard, of course, he's different from the other host that Ford created himself. So unless like with the plan with Dolores, she has to like eventually like get herself like a new body, her and along with her army. Because if they do plan on like leaving Westworld and going into the real world, that's like one thing that's stopping them.
So what do you think about the whole playing with fire? The only way, what's her face? Maeve, she was able to get a new body, but she had to trick somebody, right? But right now there's no need for tricking. They kind of have to transfer whatever she has inside her brain to a new body. I wonder if if they keep copies of the same bodies, or if they're able to just switch back and forth and put her mind in somebody else's body.
And that's And that's why she says, like, oh, I believe it was like, what, episode 2 or so? Yeah, episode 2, where she told Teddy, like, oh, we're going to like the Valley Beyond, you know, the place where someone told me it was like kind of like a mistake, but it's a weapon. And that's what she's planning on doing. She's going there, just like how with Papa Delos like transfer his mind into like a whole size human body. She's going to basically transfer her like mind into another host bodies, which is not going to have that device in it, which makes it perfectly bland. And hopefully the Man in Black will destroy it. Because if not, he kind of sees like the whole like disaster and all.
See, I wonder if they can transfer that little, what do you call it? I'm sure there is a proper name for that. Did you, in your stream with, with Johnny, just when I was commuting, by the way, awesome stream, sorry I couldn't stay for longer. You were mentioning cupcakes, right?
Oh yes, because that was
yes.
I'm not sure if it was
I couldn't answer you. I couldn't answer you because I was driving. But yes, I'm thinking red velvet. Like, who the heck baked red velvet cupcakes over there? Or like ice cream, like a little ice cream cone with a little thing.
Oh, those cupcakes in the ice cream cone.
Yeah, no,
I love making those.
Yeah, so basically that kind of looked like cupcake or some sort of anyway. Steering away from that. So I'm wondering if it's possible to put that thing in actual living body to kind of replace the brain and just kind of, take an actual person and shove that thing in somehow. And, ta-da, you have a new body, actual human body, but your, brain from the little cupcake looking thing. What are your thoughts?
You're a little bit wrong. Okay. Basically think of the cradle where you seen the little cupcake brain thing. That was like, that was one of their brains, a host brain, basically. But think of it like a 3D printer, okay, sort of thing, but making a host. And that's what James Delos is all about. That's what's so dangerous about the cradle, is because he was so real and so close to being a real human and not machine anymore and not tech, that they had conquered immortality. That was what was so dangerous about it. That's why it's such a dangerous weapon. That's why, and Bernard did at the very end of that, if you remember, he had the memory and he had all the rooms doing and smashed up the whole facility. That's who destroyed it in his flashback. He remembered. So he is the one who tore it up, and they did burn it down. So whether or not James Bell can come from that. And there's still a question of who else.
Wait, Bree, your sound's not coming through very good. Let me mute because this is very important, I think, what you're saying.
Okay. All right. That's the reason that this is the most dangerous place is because they can go there. It's like a 3D printer type situation, but for hosts. Think of them going there and basically that brain is not going to be put in somebody. That brain is going to be part of somebody. It's like a 3D printer that's going to make a host. It's going to completely form them. They want to go in there. They had made them so lifelike that they had about conquered immortality. Like there was no more question. It was not robot. It was not tech anymore. It was not AI anymore. It was actually they had conquered. That's what the point of James Delos was. Papa Delos, that's the whole point of the cradle. Them 149 times that they burned him down. That's what it was. They had got that close, and they said that's why he left them that last time. Was he said he's come so far. This is the farthest we've ever gotten with him. Are you sure you want to burn it down this time? And he's like, nah, leave him. And he left him that time. If you'll remember on this episode, when they left him was right after he told him that Juliet committed suicide. Suffering was when they're most awake. And then when we find him, he's all cutting himself up in the mirror and stuff, which he blames himself. You'll notice in the entire episode, he will not look himself directly in the eyes in the mirror. Like he can't face himself, like he can't own up to his own actions or something, And so it's kind of like he kind of goes mad. And most of the hosts do when they find that part with that inner voice. Remember that inner Bernard voice that they had? Half the hosts were going mad. Remember before? So that's kind of what he has going on. He went crazy. Batshit crazy, and I lost it. But he had literally been burned down 149 times and thought he was in hell, a literal hell. So the best thing, it really was a kindness for them to burn it down and just let them go. I mean, that really was the best thing to do. But we really need to worry about who else is out there and who else has already been copied. Because at this point, we don't know, because the tech has gotten that far advanced is the point. They have made 150 attempts, actually, because he was 150th, 150 attempts at conquering immortality.
Yeah, so all those, my thought about all those, what do you call them? I'm going to call them cupcake from now on. Oh, that's going to be bad. All those little things, they were many of them. So I don't think that they all belong to one person. I'm thinking that they belong to multiple people.
Well, this is the thing. They were collecting all the DNA and the guest experiences over the entire time that the park has been open. So that's what the real danger was. That's what the real commodity of the park was. That's how William sold James Delos on investing in this park was, hey, we can, work on, we can collect all this data, we can use this data, and at the same time, we can advance, because you're sick, we're trying to defeat mortality, we're trying to defeat death itself here. And something you really need to pay attention to, because this is really important. Can go back and rewatch it too, and it will completely change, because it didn't even dawn until the second time I watched it on a rewatch. Okay, where all the information that was stolen and uploaded from Peter Abernathy, when he sees that picture of Juliet, is because that information is from James Delos. It's all a trigger. That's what triggered him, is because he remembered Juliet. He had that information in him. So go back and think about that. When he's sitting on the front porch and he starts to trigger from that picture of Juliet, is because he remembers her. But he had James Delos' brain information uploaded into him.
Mm-hmm.
But
Like
did he had the information in James Delos at that time, though? Because he got it much later on when Charlotte put the information in when he was in the basement. But before, prior to that,
what if it's like a backup?
Yeah, that's one thing with the timeline. It's you don't know what happened when, though. But that one specifically happened after he was in the basement. But before then, it's did they ever upload into a different host body, and maybe it worked or something, or they're just keeping it under a hush? Because they keep on saying when it comes to your mind, it just wouldn't click, and because of it, it's been a failure. But we don't know if they tried it on anyone else and it was successful. Because he was oh, maybe in a year or two, maybe it'll work. But then, Men in Black just gave up on him.
Right. Yeah, I think it definitely had to have been. And it kind of, I don't know if any of y'all seen Future World, but that's kind of the point of Future World, was they made all these hosts basically that were world leaders and stuff, and sent them out there to conquer and take over. But that's kind of what I think is going to happen, sort of. Is they're kind of, or Delos at least, it's got people out there already,
Another question, if I could, for Delos, they keep saying Delos won't send whatever they call them reinforcements unless the package is delivered. And I'm thinking, who is Delos at that point? I mean, he is dead. The actual body, original body is dead. Is it the corporation or who?
Corporation in general, which William owns 51% of, but he's just the head of the corporation, basically.
So Delos as in company, not Delos as in the old guy, kind of. I mean, obviously the old guy is dead.
Right. He's dead now and has been dead for several years now.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly how many. But to answer the question of the first episode thing, or when he sees the picture and all, if you think back, that's when Dolores kind of went off on her little side trip that led her to the, shooting board thing. So that wasn't actually too far in the past. That was more recent than we think, because that was what led us to basically the Wyatt plotline. So it wasn't that long ago. What really gets to me is they're searching for Peter Abernathy, but he's not Peter Abernathy anymore. Why aren't they looking for the new Peter Abernathy?
What do you mean, new Peter Abernathy?
Well, whenever they took him off the shelf, basically, when lobotomized him, then they put the new guy as Peter Abernathy in the storyline. Right before everything started to pop up, basically.
the new father, right? The guy, that's a substitute.
Right. I believe he was a sheriff before he was Peter Abernathy, but the one with the weird mustache. Yeah.
So that's interesting thing too. I mean, that's kind of with the question kind of I had before. They have hosts as in a physical body, right? And they either swap the brains or whatever they're called, or they kind of switch their narrative, right? Because the new guy played the old guy's role perfectly. So who are they truly? Like, are they only the programming that they have, or that's the thing, or are they something different? Like Dolores,
right. I just want to say real quick. Now, this is something in particular I don't understand it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Forgive me. That I don't understand at all.
Okay, that's the whole point of it. That's what I was saying. Get back to the awakening thing. That's the whole point. It's about consciousness. It's about the hosts have to find their own consciousness. They have to awaken, and then they break their narratives. They break free. They break free of them chains, basically. And for example, wait.
I think I have an example, and the reason I want to ask you this is because if not, then you can explain to me how I'm wrong.
Okay.
When Arnold and Bernard and Dolores are having that conversation, and she asks him about himself, and then he says to her, "Why did you just ask me that?" And different things we see Dolores going through, we start to see her almost like it's not a program. It's like she starts to get to where she has thoughts, and she has reasons that she commits actions that are nothing to do with her program, which is what I think Arnold intended all along.
Right, learning to think for yourself. Basically, she made the choice, and that was the point of the season finale. Ford gave her the choice, or at least that's the impression that we're given. I mean, for all we know, that was part of her narrative that Ford gave her too. We don't even know that. Honestly, she could still be under a narrative thinking that she was given a choice, and she might not fully be awake, because I do not think she is. I think she's having a personality crisis.
Yeah.
I think Teddy's probably closer to awake than she is. I think the thing that would probably wake up Dolores truly would be her father dying, Peter Abernathy. Maybe William, but no.
Yeah.
But
the line that kind of reminded me of this in the original Jurassic, I don't know, movie Jurassic Park, whatever the first one ever was called, where the old guy says, I think that's what he says, somebody says it, the whole thing about life finds a way, or however he phrased it. So again, like for us, I mean, there like, who are we? Like, if we were just, dropped somewhere without any contact with anybody or anything, just kind of roaming around, I don't know, a forest without ever saying a word or seeing anything, like, who would we be? That's a question. Like, we are what kind of the society in a way makes us. We have to admit it. I mean, depending where we are, this is kind of drives the way we behave. We normally have to be part of the society if we want to fit in at least a little bit. We all say, oh, I want to be original. Well, obviously we want to be original, but we all have kind of guidelines of what to do, what not to do. So we are all kind of in a narrative, right? We are living, we think we're free because we are free, right? But we are not. I mean, we can truly be free, but then there are consequences to that, and that's going to stop really quickly. We have broad guidelines of what we can do, what we cannot do, but we have to stay within that boundary. So in a way, we kind of all are living, which is sad, but good too, because there, with guidelines, there's safety, but you still have an idea of limits.
I think that's what a lot of the shows today are about, and a lot of them are trying to tell us, so is to open our eyes more and to wake up, that to break that mold and to think for ourselves. And that's what's great about the world today. Anybody that doesn't know about Tesla, go watch some videos, read a book, learn about Tesla. You probably won't find too much in books anymore, especially. But I mean, he predicted that we'd all be connected like back in the 20s. that the world will be connected by the technology that we have today, you know? And we are. I mean, we're lucky to be living in this age to where we can talk about stuff like this and that we can be aware that it doesn't have to be the way it is, and that the governments don't have to be the way they are, that we don't have to live in poverty the way that we are. That we can change the world. I mean, we literally can. We can change the way we live. We can change the way we think. I mean, we can.
But we are still shaped and kind of we're limited by what we're allowed to do to coexist here. I mean, if somebody goes nuts and does something because we are all basically animals, right? But if we do just whatever we wanted to do, that's gonna create chaos. So it's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, but we are shaped exactly by we have a choice. We choose to think we are free, knowing kind of that we are not free, but to our benefit, because by not being free, we belong.
That's pretty much like the whole thing with the Man in Black in the beginning in the first season. He was like, he wanted all the hosts to be free, so not to be, you know, restricted to like their design narratives. And now that they are,
there's chaos. Like, if there are no boundaries, there's chaos, and we see chaos right now. It's gonna evolve into something new, probably.
Chaos.
Yeah.
Either by the end of this season or by the end of the series, at least, there's going to be, you know, order again. But as of now, with this whole narrative into the night that Forrest created, it's chaos right now because everyone is.
And I think that's one of the themes of the show, is the fact that, you know, there has to be a certain standard of behavior from everyone. And I was thinking about it the other day. For everybody who doesn't know, I'm a clerk at the Dollar Tree, which is a place where everything is literally $1. Okay, but you know, for the most part, really great people, you know, come in there, really nice customers. But every once in a while, you will get somebody who just gets irate over something crazy. And I always just like to tell myself, you know, they're not mad about this, though. They're displacing anger. But still, as adults, there's a certain level of behavior that you maintain. You know, like, certainly the Second Amendment says that we can say whatever we would like to say or whatever. But, you know, there's just a certain way to talk to people and to handle yourself that is not written down. That's an invisible line of how you know of what is right and what is wrong, so to speak.
Exactly, like people over there, right? The people who go there, and I have another completely other theory about what's actually the real world. But besides from that, let's say people who come into the park, they are playing a role that they're not able to play outside, right? Like, people have to be nice at work and kind of keep it all in, but they have to react somewhere. So hopefully, instead of blowing up at their families, they go to the gym or they do some kind of sport that channels that energy creatively to, you know, to better their health and not to mess up other relationships. Like you said, Jen, right? People come into the store and they unload on you sometimes. They may just not be able to do that somewhere else, and they find the least resistant. Yeah,
it's hurtful, but you know, I know in my gut that somebody is not that upset that we're at a now and later's. You know, I mean, get you a pack of Mamba. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So people can do crazy things like in that park, like where you go on vacation. Apparently, some people go nuts. Like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
What they were saying about those parks, what Logan was saying to William, you know, in like the first episodes, we're like, oh, you're going to play the good guy. You're going to do this. Is like, you can do whatever you want and, you know, be whoever you know. And yeah, like you're saying, I imagine a park like Westworld would be extremely successful, where people could come and act out not only their fantasies, but their awful fantasies, you know?
Yeah, but a lot of people repress what they actually have. They are people need to seriously stop being, and I see it many places where people are just so repressing everything. Like, just find a safe place to be yourself, because it's gonna blow up one way or the other, and you don't want it happening like at the least favorable situation. Yeah, we can't do everything we want in life, because we have to, at least we have we have private life, we have friends, we have work, we have family, and all that can be different. Like over there, they probably have their real world, and then they come in and unload, and I don't know, they go fishing or they go shooting or they go to other places, do other stuff that they cannot do over there. So it's a good advice, I think, it's not given specifically, but I think it's a good advice for people here to kind of find, I guess, like a release of their emotions, tension, anger, or anything else, to find balance in life, not to go nuts like William did.
Yeah, you guys are hilarious in the chat. And going back to everybody talking about Westworld crossing over with Westeros, which is actually strangely very similar a name for the places, is it not? But Mackenzie Burns talking about if Littlefinger was a host, if Littlefinger was one of the people in charge, he would want to find the Sansa host. Oh, he most certainly would. You know, he most certainly would. Okay.
There's something about it being chaos being a ladder, and that, where was it? Marie said chaos is a ladder. Bring in Littlefinger, he'll sort them out.
And one true David Adams said a while back in the chat that he was having a lot of fun in this chat because it was Westworld, Elamar's birthday, and a lot of bullshitting all rolled into one.
Oh my gosh. That was a good one.
We aim to please. Hey, you know what? At the end of the day, it is still just a show. We don't have to, get so serious, and, we can just have a good time about it, But there are other people who really, really know their Westworld, and we'll leave the more serious streams to them.
Yep.
Any questions from anybody in the chat for Ree, or anybody you want to address the question to? Like I tell people at the Dollar Tree, I never stalk, so asking me where something is probably, I'm the worst person you can ask. I literally, that's my go-to.
But Jen, we all have our opinions.
Where something is.
You have your opinion too. So just because you don't consider yourself an expert, I mean, the experts are the people who write it. And as long as you watch the show and have a question and have your own idea, then you're kind of an expert. To have true knowledge of the show and to have complete memory of it, I guess that would make you an expert. If you, let's say somebody said, oh, what did this guy said to that guy? And you'll be like quoting, then yeah, you're an expert. If you can quote exactly, then you would be an expert. But still, if you have your opinion and you have
everybody's
evidence for it.
Opinion. That's how we always like to be here in the Wolf's Den. Everybody can have their opinion because nobody owns. There are people who do own the I know this word and I can't.
Intellectual property.
Yeah, the intellectual property to this show, but certainly I don't know any of those people, and I don't think any of them have YouTube channels that I know of. But they might. They might on the fly.
And until we know it, until we see actually what happens, plus we won't know. But then if they show us what happens, who knows? Maybe it's not exactly it because it's just the start of the new season or end of the previous season. And then hopefully they're going to go forever because this is some great stuff. And Kurt, too.
I agree. Like, you think you may know like an episode or so, then the following one, they just like pull the rug right underneath you. Like, how many people would guess and theorize that, you know, that Grace was actually Emily? Like, some people said it was, you know, the Man in Black's daughter. Others said that's possibly Teresa from the past. Others said that possibly could be like Teresa's daughter. Like, it was always an offense. Like, we don't truly know until like the episode happens.
Yeah. There were a couple of people who mentioned that theory. Again, the only one I remember, and I'm sorry if somebody else said it, I just can't remember. I think the only video I remember was from Kevin from Bridge 4, where he mentioned that Emily and Grace might be the same person. But again, like, this was confirmed. And there are many things that other people said, so we're just waiting. But it's so much fun. I truly hope that people don't get offended, because I don't get offended if somebody has a different theory. Like you, BBM, you are completely against Charlie and Charlotte, and I'm quietly kind of saying, well, I kind of like that theory. But it's a great thing if we can all kind of not agree to disagree, only that, but kind of understand that this is just our opinions and nothing to get upset about. You give me the facts or what you think are facts, I completely get it, and I would buy into that too. So it's just fun. Hopefully people won't be too serious about stuff, because this is seriously not life or death or anything. It's just having fun and exercising our brains. And it's a great time to hang out with friends.
Oh, that's so funny. I said exactly, LMR. We can always just agree to disagree. And I've got to tell you guys, the chat would be pretty damn boring if everybody sat up here and was just like, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's what I thought too. That, you know, I mean, wouldn't be much of a conversation.
Yeah, if we said, oh yeah, everything, and then the silence would like, okay, we agree, and there's no debate. I mean, the fun of the debate is, you know, hearing other perspectives.
But you guys, we're coming to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it is to stop every single thing you're doing and even watch a chat. Even if you're not on the panel or didn't put it together. I understand you guys, I do. Sometimes Mr. Wolverton gets quite upset with me if I not only do my own things, but then watch a bunch of other things during the week, because he gets lonely. He gets lonely for Jen. So, any questions in the Q&A? And if it's okay with everybody, let's wrap this up. Final thoughts, Ree, why don't we start with you and then go down the line?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. I wanted to say something. That's the fun about Westworld is, like, back to the Jurassic Park little borders we have. This is all about crossing borders. And, you know, being able to do that. I mean, that's the fun. That's why we love Game of Thrones. That's why we love Westworld, because we can talk about it, because we can make all these wonderful theories and discussions and just go crazy talking about it. I mean, that's half the fun. And go crazy, cross some borders. Don't be afraid to step over the line. I mean, just have fun with it. Just have fun, guys. And thanks, Jen. Happy birthday, Eleanor.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, somebody's muted. BBM, you want to go next?
I guess I'm next. I don't know, like, what was like the actual order. Yeah, anticipation, like, especially with this episode, it's like, I'm very curious to see, like, is all this time when we see like Bernard like waking up on that island, is it all just, you know, an interrogation? Because he keeps on saying like, what am I, like, in present time, or am I just watching this, you know, from the future, watching back at us? Oh, so it's like, it's very interesting there.
Definitely. And with that said, I'm thinking when you who was it? What's her name? Elsie, or Elsie. She said that his memories, they don't have some kind of address, like in a computer, I'm assuming. So that got me thinking, and I think somebody mentioned it too. Isn't he like Bran at that moment? Like, he doesn't know if he's in the present, past, or future. Well, not future, I guess, for him, but, you know, if he's stuck in the past, there's still future memories ahead of him. What is
He's
present,
Blood
I
Raven.
guess.
He's Blood
Yeah.
Raven. Westworld.
Did I say? Who did I say?
Did Bran, but still, Bran is Blood Raven, basically. So,
Yeah.
currently on
Exactly.
the
So just it's mind blowing, and it's gonna continue, and hopefully they will show us a glimpse of that real world, and my theories will come true. So we'll see about how it goes. There are many seasons. I'm hoping. I hope they won't finish it at that, because that would be just a shame if they finished it after a second or third season.
Yeah, I think it's like what 5 or 4 seasons they've been renewed for
Yay,
the show.
that
So
is amazing. And material for it too. So Jen, you said we're wrapping up. BBM, you want to mention your channel, if you could? I already dropped the link. I'm going to drop one if I have time before we finish up. But if you can just mention again about your channel, if you could.
and before mentioning my channel again, thank you for the invite.
Absolutely, 100%. BBM, I swear, I just said to the ladies, I said, I'm going to throw out an invite to BBM and we'll just see what happens. But we were all like hoping, that you would come on in like a friend. And thank you so much. Did you drop a link for BBM's channel?
Yeah, she
I
did
did
already.
already. I'm
Okay,
going to
just
do
want to
it
make
again
sure.
here
Did
now.
you drop a link for Citadel of Trivia?
I did. Wait,
Did
for
you drop
Marie,
a
right?
link?
For Marie.
Drop a link for Marie and throw a link out there for Teflon if you can.
I did already.
And
A
did you
Citadel
throw a
of
link
Trivia.
out there
I don't
for
think I have
Jane?
the Citadel of Trivia. I don't think I have that one. I'm going to look for it. And if not, I don't have it, I'm going to drop it in the comments later on here.
Okay,
But
awesome.
yeah, and I also dropped in a link for my other channel where I don't do book stuff. I'm not doing much there right now because I'm still writing the second portion of this book, I guess. But I just dropped it to whoever, because Jen, you mentioned at some point maybe we're gonna do a stream. I don't know if you wanted to do it on your
we
channel.
absolutely are. You guys,
Or my
Elamar
channel.
wrote a book called Titans of the Stars. It's a really good book. And she's given away links to it several times. I don't know. Maybe she'll get to do that again. But at some point when I feel like I know the book inside and out, we're going to have a stream where we talk about the book. And not only has she written the one book, but it's actually a 3-part book as far as she knows. I mean, it could probably even end up going further than that. I mean, you never know.
We'll see how it goes. But yeah, right now, that's what I'm saying. As I said, my channel is kind of dead right now because I'm guessing here at Jan's channel, and work is kind of full. But then I'm writing the second one, so it's kind of empty there. But if we ever need to stream, or if anybody wants to chat with me over there, I just wanted to drop a link to my channel.
Absolutely.
I have 2, but I dropped the other one. I go by LMR here, but I'm not going to be posting probably any streams over there. That's mainly for writing. But my other one, Living Reviews, that's any streams I will do are going to be over there. So yeah.
And we have a link bringer, not light bringer. We have a link bringer. Her name is Cameo.
Yes.
You guys know her. Is there any way you can drop a link for gangbangers? We have a group
right
on
now.
Hangouts.
Right now, it's kind of private, invite only. There's some changes, I think. So I know it's.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay. Well, we have a link. We have a link bringer of our own, and I just wanted to say I got a message from her earlier. She had some bad news on an MRI and some stuff like that. So she has been at the doctor's all day and wasn't able to join us. But let's send prayers and thoughts and love out there to Cameo. Most everybody in the community knows her.
She's amazing. I called her I think a long time ago, Professor O, because Professor, what's his name? X-Men. What's the guy? I feel bad for not remembering. Yeah, so she's like an O, not an X, but an O, because she gets some amazing people on her hangouts. Yeah,
exactly, she does, and I guess the group is closed now or something like that. But you know what? Just about every time we have a stream, she's in here. She's link bringer. She'll throw the link out, and she likes to get new. It's just a group where we links all the links, like Citadel's Trivia, BBM's links are always in there. My links are always in there.
So even if there's some creators who are not part of it, we are still showing their links over there. There's a lot of love over there, a lot of sharing. So yeah,
a lot of love shown to anything that is really, that's just good content, period. A lot of love shown. Also, if it's your birthday or anything like that, we're just all friends. That's just all it is. It's just a group of friends who happen to love a lot of the same things. And we live on different continents even. Let me mute Reed.
Okay, I was saying it started out just 4 of us on there, just friends that wanted to talk, and now I think we're up to like 50 or 60 people on there, and I mean we got people who are changing all the time too, and yeah, so it's really fun though.
Yeah, so if you see an invite from Cami, please accept it. I don't want to be funny or weird, but it's like an honor. Like, yay, I belong somewhere. We all belong somewhere, but it's fun. It's a lot of, it's kind of a lot of silly stuff. A lot of it's a safe place, but obviously some funny things are happening there too. And funny, I mean like a good funny. So it's a fun place to hang out. And a lot of people here in this chat are from over there. So again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. So it's listen to you or not listen to chat, and we
long live the bangers.
Yes, or throners, or however we're being called right now, or behind the scenes. So thanks so much for everybody being
all
here
right, everybody. Well, it's going on 2 hours on this chat, and we all have other stuff, believe it or not. But I just want to thank everybody who stopped in. Marie Hill, Nancy T, Chrissy of Old Stones, AU Pack Mule, Milk K, OTDA, or the real David Adams, the one true David Adams.
We have this
one for stopping by. Oh, I just noticed Septishana Secrets popped in. I'm sorry I didn't say hey, hello. We got Marie Hill.
We have Nancy,
Mackenzie Burns. Go ahead, Elamar. You get everybody.
No, I was just kind of reading. We have David, Chrissy. We have Marie, VM. Oh, there I am. I'm in blue. I'm kidding. I'm being silly. My brain is we have Nancy, AU. I'm going down up the list. Whoever was, and this is just a list of people who are commenting. I don't have the list of people who are kind of maybe just sitting and watching. I have IC Sports here. Thank you for stopping by. And I think that's as far as my comment. We had Jake from Dust on the earlier.
We did, and I want to say hey to IC Spots. I didn't see them come in, and I didn't say hello to them, so I want to make sure that I say hello to them. Hello.
And Mackenzie Burns. I'm probably repeating some people, but I'm kind of just reading down the list. We had Mills. Thank you for stopping and giving me that again, my fact checker. Thank you. No, it is. I know things from somewhere. I just can't remember from where, and if I'm mixing up the stuff, too much things in my brain sometimes.
Yeah, just wanted to say hey to everybody.
Yeah, if you want to mention the Thursday, some people.
Oh yeah, Thursday we've got book club EdR 9. It's not a long chapter, but it's a lot of information in it. Then Sunday at 6 Central, we're having a special stream with Marie Hill. Can you you put that link in already? Y'all, she put out just a video just a few days ago. Marie Hill says there's going to be a doom in Westeros, which is going to be just like Valyria. And we're going to be discussing that. We're going to be discussing Melisandre, the Children of the Forest, and how they play a role in this.
Yeah,
exactly. It's going to be fun. And I just want to mention, again, if I'm repeating people, I'm sorry. Eduardo Blanco had to leave because it was 3:30 at wherever he was sometime ago. So thank you for staying so late with us. We have Baba Husky too. Again, if you mention them, I'm just kind of going down the list again. I am Jerome too. I guess the list goes further than I thought. So it's been great chatting with you all, and I know we're gonna have lots of fun with Jen, and there's gonna be a panel of lovely ladies, and I guess from time to time we're gonna have somebody to join us if you wanna.
We are BBM. You owe us a book club, if you don't mind me saying so. We need you on it. What we've been doing lately is just having the girls, and then we bring a guy in as a guest. So if you want to come, please, we'd love to have you one night on the panel, as you get to be the only guy and kind of rebuff all our feminine thoughts.
But we're not.
You know what I
we're not
mean?
attacking or anything. We're not looking for somebody to attack. We just want a perspective. Guys' perspective of the chapter. And since we're doing Eddard, he gets a lot of hate sometimes. Sometimes it's me kind of being not hateful, but kind of analyzing him too much. It would be nice to see if you have a different perspective. Just a suggestion.
It's only Thursdays, am I correct?
Thursdays evening.
This week, Thursday, no. But I can say next week you could see me.
Next Thursday? Awesome. That'd be great. Ooh, y'all heard it from the man himself. Not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we're going to have a guest on Book Club, BBM. So awesome. That sounds great. All right, everybody. Well, everybody, thank you for coming on in, and we'll see y'all next time. We're gonna do these pretty regular. And of course, always Thursday Book Club, and then look out on the special streams, which we try to tackle topics a little bit more in depth. And with that, I'll say good night to everybody, and everybody have a great week.
Good night. Thanks.